So this guy says, I feel like I'm the only Battlefield fan that doesn't play for the next season or the next big thing. I simply log on and play the same conquest mode that I've been playing in Battlefield since 1942. It is nuts to me that there is so much focus on events and, oh, can't wait for the next season, when I, as a Battlefield fan and longtime veteran of the series, could not care any less about it. If I get bored of the usual gameplay, I just go and play something else and come back when Battlefield sounds enticing again. And am I the only one here? And there's like a bunch of comments sort of saying the same thing here. And this is like the most upvoted comment, I believe. You know, like, there is that, right? Of course, you can just go and play another game, right? I feel that's kind of missing the point. As a live service, I don't think DICE want you to go and just play another game. That is like defeating the point of a live service game, right? They want you to stay playing their game and constantly getting content and constantly buying things in the store. That's kind of how it works. If you go and buy a new game, well, you know, maybe you get invested in that new game and you fall in love with that new game, and then Battlefield is just completely like pushed aside and it gets uninstalled eventually. But I feel that in past Battlefield games, whilst we have obviously had like more content, I'm going to sort of talk about this in like vertical content and horizontal content. So to me, vertical content is kind of like not maps and weapons and things like that, but the skill of the game. You know, how much can you get out of the game in terms of things that are there to learn, right? So I think it's no secret that Battlefield 2042 in terms of like skill depth, especially with vehicles and definitely the infantry play, it is a lot easier than it was in past Battlefield games, you know. At least in Battlefield 4, I always felt like I couldn't be good at everything because, you know, it just took so long to master, like, a helicopter, a jet, you know, playing infantry, all these things. And that's not to say by any stretch of the imagination that I've mastered those things now and I'm just like some insane player. But that sort of vertical content was much greater in the past Battlefield titles. With Battlefield 2042, it's more like an ocean with the depth of a paddling pool. Although it's not an ocean, right? Because the actual horizontal content isn't that great either, because we're just getting like one map every season, really long waiting periods between seasons, and so that's kind of where I'm at. For sure, I mean, I still do play the game pretty much every day, and I jump on and I have fun with the game, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't critique, at least I think, the cadence that they're putting out content in. You know, we could all just sit back and say, oh, well, you know, I still play the game and enjoy it, and that's all good and peachy, but should you, you know? And in some ways, I kind of feel that players have been a little bit gaslit into just thinking that this is cool, you know, this is okay. I can live with this. So yeah, it does worry me a little bit that like a lot of the player base have kind of just like accepted that this is the way things work in Battlefield 2042. And going into the next game, they'll just be used to that. And then it's like, oh, okay, we just get like one map all the time now. I really hope that next Battlefield, DICE are going to have like a solid... It's definitely going to be live service. If it's not, I will be very surprised. I really hope they have like a better plan of action. And, you know, hopefully the game releases in a good state. That's going to allow them to plan around it better. Also delaying the game, or not delaying it, but releasing it at a time when it's actually ready to be released, I think will give them the time that they need to get it planned out. So the first season is maybe the first 2 seasons, they're just like done, right? When the game releases, and every season after that, you can then work on at least like, I think you need like at least 2 maps. 2042 is dry, but Battlefield 5 still pulls the adrenaline compared to 2042. That's also a good point, you know. I did think about that you can also use that argument, right? If content releases like so big a deal, then why is everybody playing Battlefield 5? Why are, well, I say everybody, there's still a decent amount of people playing BF5, there's still a decent amount of people playing Battlefield 1, some people play Battlefield 4 as well, and those games haven't had content in years. So obviously people still enjoy those games. I think it does have a big effect as well that a lot of people are just buying Battlefield 2042. Me and probably a lot of you guys, we've been playing the game since day one, right? So we've, you know, every time a map comes out, we eat up that map, we gobble up that content on the spot there, and then it's not new for us anymore, it's gone. Whereas a lot of people have bought the game after it was redeemed essentially by, I think, like most of the internet at large, most people seem to agree that the game has been redeemed. A lot of people purchased it then on the past couple of sales. And so for those people, the game is still kind of fresh. It's still kind of new. There's a lot of maps there for them that they've not played. So they're kind of like, more content? What are you talking about, Ghost? Like, we have so much content. Anywho, I digress. I'm gonna load up the game, guys. Don't really know where I'm going with that. I just feel it's like easier to talk to you guys about it than it is to leave like a really, really long comment on on that video.